Hello, 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 my loves, and welcome to EQ with Jah, this guy. So, today's topic is tone. I find tone fascinating because I have seen how a tone can not allow someone to feel like they can receive a message. I have met people where a tone makes them feel like they're safe. I've met people where they feel a tone is something that needs to be checked, corrected, or disciplined. This is an old school type of thinking. This is how the patriarchal has controlled society for so long. Hey, don't you talk like that. Hey, don't you raise your voice. Hey, don't you do it. Hey, who do you think you're talking to? How you talk? Like, everyone has learned that tone means this. But think about a teacher who talks like this and they read like this, and even though it might not be interesting to you, the information that they're giving is actually valuable to your life and the things that you need to take in and understand and absorb, right? There's plenty of kids like, oh, they're so boring. I can't listen to this. I can't. Guess what those kids grow up to be? Adults who can't listen, take instruction, take criticism, take direction, because they've been taught, hey, if it doesn't come this way, or if it doesn't come this way, it doesn't need to be listened to. We see it with the training of our animals. You can talk really sweet to an animal, and they're like, "Oh my God, I love you." And then you start talking a little rough, they get scared because they don't understand that the disconnection between what we call logic and emotion has been these two worlds that have never learned how to facilitate until now. Emotional intelligence and emotionality takes a moment and lets you recognize that if someone has a tone. Now, I'm told I have a rough tone. I'm told that I have a tone that sounds sarcastic or whatever. To me, that is not something that I stop to dwell on, ever. Why? Because here's how I look at it. If you come into my environment, into my life, and ask me a question or impose your energy onto me, am I not allowed to respond how I want to respond, or am I supposed to respond the template or societal way of, be nice, we don't want to be mean? That's fake. We have taught ourselves fake tone for so long. Oh my God, of course, my pleasure. It ain't your pleasure. I worked in customer service. As soon as that person walk away, you're like, ugh, God, they were so annoying, right? I do not believe in these types of relationships. So when I meet a grown adult who, if a tone allows you to not receive a message, then you're sabotaging yourself, my love. And that means you're stuck in a paradigm of control that was imprinted on you by whoever raised you. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's kids when we say, oh, well, people say it all the time. Oh, that's white kids, that's black kids. Because there's a difference in what I've learned about society, at least American society. Caucasians have always focused on the emotional side of, we can be whoever we want to be at home, but out in the world, act like this. Black children, from my experience, have been taught, you can be whoever you want to be in the world, but in this house, you better act like this, right? So you have two energies going out into the world. One who knows how to emotionally curb how they feel in order to process and function, and then one who doesn't know, because at home they got to do whatever they want, so when someone checks them, they get upset, they feel attacked, they feel challenged, and then from there, whatever you were taught on how to resolve any type of issues, any service recovery issues, then that's when you get people who fight, kill, shoot, do all this dumb stuff because they don't know how to deal with their emotions. Do you honestly think that Hitler would have been Hitler if he knew how to really deal with his fucking emotions? No, that man did not know how. It is a clear example of how you allow something to belittle you and take you down, and people talking to you a certain way your entire life, that you become this character of a person, and then when you meet someone who's real, you think they're being rough, and you meet someone who's being fake and you think that's the real deal. You have to learn how to separate these two. And I would tell people right now, part of my practice is called tone therapy. Yes, it is. Because I am not going to sit here and go through all of the things that you kept doing with your free will to not correct a simple behavior. So instead, you create more trauma, more drama, more of a molehill. It takes one sock, you throw it on the floor. For some reason, people think, well, it's already one sock. What's another? And then you have a whole pile of crap just sitting there. We do it with work, school, life. Everything always comes back to how you were emotionally trained and how you were emotionally disciplined, and then how you functionally interact with the world without becoming, I call what I call a victim to society. Well, this happened because of this, and this happened. A lot of shit happens. Like I said, this pandemic has shifted the whole world to a perspective of, I don't do sob stories no more. And I don't do anybody else's backstory about how you went. I want to know how you were created, but it's not my job to sit and figure out why you got created that way. That's your work. Why was I created this way? Well, my mom talked to me this way. My dad talked to me this way. They were not there emotionally when I needed them, so I learned how to self-coddle. I went out and got a job because that's what we were taught to do. I learned how to function in society, and I learned how to emotionally shut down. Until one day I realized that emotionally shutting down was pushing people away. It was turning people off because I didn't know how to talk. And the only way I knew how to speak was when I was frustrated. And so, unfortunately, for some people, tone matters. They think that how they're spoken to is how they learn. You can yell at me. If I find a message in there that's meant for me to resonate with me, it's going to resonate. I'm going to walk away and be like, I don't fuck with you, but thank you for that information. I needed to hear that, actually. We don't do that. We hear one thing in a tone. Oh my God, they said something about me. Yeah, but they were saying this about you to help you grow, but they said it this way. Stop. Stop being a martyr to a tone. A tone is only an interpretation of energy, period. It happens with animals. This is when I worked in behavior work. Because the animal growls, you think the animal is evil, so it must die. No, the animal is growling because clearly it doesn't feel safe, or it doesn't feel familiar with you, or it understands that you're bigger than it and can kill it, and then you do it anyways. This is how society has conditioned you. If you know that you're bigger than something, you have no absolute reason to take its life, why would you? Right? Okay, so if you know that someone's tone is just their tone and it has nothing to do with you, why would you be affected or offended by that? You know what I mean? But we've been taught. They called me a name. And? Are you that name? Yes, no, maybe so. Look, sometimes you are the name. Doesn't mean you're the reputation. Doesn't mean you have to own the title. But what you do have to own is your own emotional reaction to how people speak. You're not going to control how I talk. I ain't going to control how you talk. I can control how I deliver the message. I can control if I decide to try to talk in a way that I think will appease your emotional balance. But for what? For what? That serves neither one of us a purpose, because then I'm pacifying your emotions, I'm pacifying the situation, and I'm allowing you now to believe in your little world of, this is how it worked when I was a kid. It's going to keep working. Check. Still works. Still works. Trust me, there's people who are doing manipulation, emotional things they've been doing since they were kids because it works. Why not do it? This is society as it stands when it comes to the divine, masculine, and feminine. Understanding that energy is a tone. Women are a certain way, gay men are a certain way, feminine energy is a certain way, straight men are a certain way, masculine energy is a certain way, lesbians are a certain way. And then there's everything that literally is the gray space in between. This is non-binary, this is trans, this is everything, because they don't have to choose to be in either one of those groups, because they're choosing their own life and their own entity for themselves and the appreciation of their interpretation of energy. And then they have to deal with everyone else's misinformed tones to try to berate them because they, on the outside, remember, polar opposites, the law of polarity is you really believe whatever you live is true. Whatever you feel is true. If you believe in the law of duality, you see both are true because they're all encompassing to create you. And so this is why we have to remember there's silence and dynamicism. Silence is where birth happens. But when the life is created, once it's ready to come out, it's dynamicism. It's loud. It's painful. It's this. There's no beauty in, I passed my baby beautifully. So why would you think that real change comes with a gentle tone that only comforts you when you don't know how to comfort yourself? Think about that. I need it too. In order sometimes to calm myself down, I need to listen to music because it soothes me. I meditate because it calms the mind. But when I go back out into this world of dynamicism and tones and attitudes and different creations, then I also have to know how to monitor, evaluate, and keep that part of me balanced in a world that I do not control. I am only in charge of myself. So I want you to know, when you go out into this world and you hear somebody say something a certain way that you don't like, stop and think, does this person just not know who they are and they're sad and so they're spitting evil? That's a character. You just laugh at that and keep walking. Or is there a person where they're trying to reflect, I think that you should do this. Okay, is this a person trying to help me, or is this a person that's projecting? Then you go and you answer that. And then you keep going and you figure out, well, you know what? Maybe they're not, maybe there's some projection there, but they're projecting because we're so similar that they don't notice this. And I don't notice this about myself. They don't notice about themselves, but they notice it and recognize it in another person. This is where the whole recognizing energies and tones and vibrations comes into play. If I come into the room and I'm like, hey, what's up? How you doing? Whatever. I don't care about that, but I'm good with this. Somebody who is listening hears the word, I don't care. And they take that and it means, they don't care about me. This or that. It's a word. It's a tone. It's a sound. Understand the definition, understand implied intent, understand if there's malice, understand what your emotions are trying to connect it to, not just the definition of understanding from someone else. Because if you grow up your entire life, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a grown-ass man. Not anybody going to walk up to me like, Juan, shut up. Okay. I wish you would try. But there's people who think they have this authority over people. Seriously. I am not afraid of any other adult because you were once a child, a specimen. You just grew up. You just have more experience, or you don't have more experience. In my mind, you're another breathing entity. I'm not worried about your title, your job, I don't care. I truly don't care. I care if you're a good person. I care if you're an individual. I care if you're a soul who understands beyond your name and an imprinting before you were born that was given to you, who you are innately without being told. There's no way anyone can tell you who you are in any way, shape, or form or tone that would change who you are. Oh, you gay? Yup. Oh, you're black? Clearly. Oh, you think you're better than me? If that's what you feel. You know what I mean? That's the answer. I can't stop anymore to worry about the old world. We're in a new world now. The old world used emotions as a weapon. Emotions are a gift. Emotions are, they are a tool. If you choose to use it as a weapon, be prepared for karma and drama. Okay? That's what happens when you use emotions as a tool or as a weapon. If you use it as a tool, look forward to dharma and peace. That's when you get back what you receive, okay? So start balancing out. There's a lot of people that, I don't like the way you talk. Okay, but I had no malice in my heart and I was giving you real information. Be on your way. But if you over here trying to come into my life and you genuinely want to feel like, no, he's not being mean. He's trying to give me something that no one else will give me. You'll see the gift of tone, okay? There's power in tone for a reason. There's inflations and all these cadence and all these things because we are, first of all, we're musical beings, we're emotional beings, we're sensual beings, okay? So the body is going to hear and feel whatever it wants to hear and feel, and it's going to resonate and vibrate and align with however it wants. Remember, we are a tuning fork, okay? However you were made is how you get tuned, and whatever frequencies and things you hear, if they don't sound like your frequency, evaluate them. Maybe you need to be tuned. If you don't need to be tuned and it don't align with you, let it go, walk away, and move about your day. Seriously, that's all you got left to do. All right, guys, I love you and I thank you always for supporting me, my videos, my content, and my work. Again, I am one individual who sees the world as I see it, and if anyone relates to it, kudos. I know that generations after this, someone will find this material and it's going to help them, and that is my sole purpose. So anytime that I make a video or I speak on a certain topic, if it doesn't sound the way you want it to be said, or if it doesn't feel a certain way, you can go to another page. Because I'm going to give it to you how it needs to be given. Energy is just that. Take it or leave it. Go about your way, ebb and flow of life, and you're going to be okay. All right, guys. I love you as always. Check me out on IG, Facebook, TikTok, everything in between. My website, epicity.org, as well as my YouTube page, where you can find all of the videos. If you want to go through an archive, you feel like binging on me, well, I'm all the way there for you. So, as always, guys, I appreciate you. I love you. Have a great day. Besos.